At every age, Messi broke a massive record, and many of them most people don't even know about. So in this video, we'll see one record that he broke at 18 all the way up to his current age. Starting with the first record.
Yes. Messi! What a finish! What a move!
At 18 years old, he became the youngest player in history to score for Argentina in the World Cup. But in the following year, he broke an even more impressive one. At 19, the manager put him in the starting lineup for an Clásico. But even though he wasn't number 10 yet, he stole the spotlight by scoring a goal in just 10 minutes. Then he scored another one, and in the final minute, he broke the record.
Salgado, Lionel Messi, into the area, Messi, there's still plenty, there he's gone, oh my goodness, Lionel Messi has equalized in the last minute!
That year, he became the youngest player ever to score a hat-trick in El Clásico. Now, at 20 years old, he traveled with Barcelona to the Champions League semi-final against Man United. The first leg was at Old Trafford, so you can imagine the pressure. But it was that night that he absolutely terrorized their defense, completing not 5, not 10, but 16 dribbles. So he broke the record, according to SofaScore, for the most dribbles ever in a Champions League knockout match. And he would keep on breaking unbelievable records all the way to his current age. Now in the following season, at the age of 21, Messi faced Man United again, this time in the Champions League final, where he did this.
It's 2-0. It's Messi. He scored again.
He had already scored 5 goals in the group stage, 1 in the round of 16, 2 in the quarterfinals against Bayern, and now another one in the final. How did a guy this tiny score a header? And in the end, Barcelona won the title. So Messi broke the record for the youngest player ever to win the Champions League as the top scorer. He was so dominant that this made him break a record in the following season. In October 2009, when he was 22, Messi won the FIFA Best Player of the Year award, what today is known as the best. But the crazy part is that, after all the votes were counted and the points given, he finished with 1,073 points, while the second place Ronaldo finished with 352. He literally had 3 times more points than the runner-up, breaking the record for the largest winning margin in a FIFA award. So to the surprise of no one, later he also won his first Ballon d'Or. But if his numbers were already impressive, in 2010 he scored 60 goals, so he broke another record.
Lionel Messi.
Even though he didn't win the Champions League, at 23 Messi won the Ballon d'Or again, becoming the youngest player in history to win it twice. Now in the next season, at 24 years old, Messi achieved something that will never be repeated. In the 2011-12 season, he started La Liga scoring 2 goals against Villarreal. After that game, he scored hat-tricks against Osasuna, Atletico Madrid, Mallorca, Malaga, Granada, and Malaga again. On top of that, he scored poker tricks, 4 goals in matches against Valencia and Espanyol, finishing that La Liga season with 50 goals scored, breaking the record for the most goals ever scored in a single domestic league season. Literally, 13 teams scored fewer goals than Messi. All that when he was only 24 years old. Then, in June of that year, Messi turned 25, and he kept scoring more goals that you can count.
From the wing, Messi makes his move, Messi's there, and you know what comes next in that sentence? Messi goal!
He scored penalties, free kicks, chips, long-range shots, you name it. He even went 7 games in a row, scoring 2 goals per match. On top of many goals for Argentina, he even scored a hat-trick against Brazil. Then in December, he scored his last goal of the year, finishing 2012 with 18 goals for Argentina and 73 for Barcelona. With that, Messi broke the record for the most official goals scored in a single year, 91. I'm sure this is something that we'll never see happening again. Now, all those goals made him break another record in the following season, and it was one that hadn't been touched in almost a century. This record used to belong to a player from way back, from the 1910s and 20s, who scored 369 goals for Barca, so he stayed for decades as Barcelona's all-time top scorer. But that only lasted until March 2014, when Messi caught up to him, having just 1 goal behind. Then, against Osasuna, he scored a hat-trick to reach 371 goals, breaking the record for the player with the most goals ever for Barcelona. After that, this record just kept growing. But at his next age, 27, he raised the bar even higher. With Suarez and Neymar by his side, he won the Copa del Rey, La Liga and the Champions League, with Messi alone scoring 58 goals across all competitions. But this actually was the second treble of his career. He had already won it back in 2009, scoring 38 goals for Barcelona. So Messi broke the record as the only player in history to win 2 trebles as the top scorer. Absolute madness. Then, after winning the treble, at the age of 28, he went for a new season. So in the group stage, Barcelona faced Roma in a match that ended in just a 1-1 draw, but it entered history, because it was Messi's 100th Champions League appearance. But other players had also played 100 games, except Messi became the youngest ever to reach that number. However, after so many impressive records, the one he broke at the age of 29 he just wanna forget. For context, in 2014, Messi lost the World Cup final to Germany. Then in the following year, he lost the Copa America final to Chile. It was already bad, but in July 2016, he went into his 3rd consecutive final with Argentina and ended up as runner-up once again. So Messi broke the record as the national team captain with the most consecutive finals lost. It was so bad that he literally gave up on the national team, only to change his mind a few months later. But let's move on to the age of 30. And this is where his goals start making him break records again.
Exchange it with Dembele, and he scores Messi from a ridiculous angle through the legs of Chile.
In March 2018 against Chelsea, Messi scored a goal right at the start of the game and then another one in the second half, making him reach 100 Champions League goals. Cristiano Ronaldo had already reached that number before, but while he needed 144 games to get there, Messi did it in just 123 matches, becoming the fastest player ever to reach that milestone. However, the record that he broke at 31 years old is even more impossible to beat. In March 2019, Messi had already scored 38 goals for Barca that season. Then in a La Liga match against Espanyol, he scored the strangest free kick ever and netted another one to secure a 2-0 win. With that, he became the only player to reach 10 consecutive seasons scoring 40 or more goals for the club. That's literally an entire decade, and he was still the Champions League top scorer. So that helped him to break another record at the age of 32.
The Ballon d'Or France Football 2019 is Mr. Lionel Messi.
After scoring 51 goals in the season, he won his 6th Ballon d'Or. With that, he surpassed Cristiano Ronaldo and became the player with the most Ballon d'Ors ever. Good luck trying to take that record from him. But even being the current Ballon d'Or winner, at his next age, he actually had a negative feat. In August 2020, when he was 33 years old, Messi went with Barcelona to the Champions League quarterfinals, but it ended up becoming a disaster.
On to Lewandowski and then back to Müller.
Barcelona pulled one back, but Bayern scored their 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Then Barca reduced the gap again, but Bayern kept going, scoring their 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. So Messi ended up becoming the captain who suffered the biggest defeat ever in a Champions League quarterfinal. But now the next record that he broke was much better, and it was actually a very special one for him, because it was with the Argentina national team. On June 2021, a few days after he turned 34, he stepped onto the pitch in a Copa America match against Bolivia and scored twice. It looked like just a normal match, but this made him break a huge record. It was his 148th match for Argentina, so he finally surpassed Mascherano to become Argentina's most capped player ever. But it was nothing compared to the record that he would break at 35 years old.
Lionel Messi embraces his moment again.
In the 2022 World Cup, he scored 2 goals and gave 1 assist in the group stage, then 1 goal in the round of 16, another goal and assist in the quarterfinals, also in the semi-final, and scored twice in the final. Yeah, there were some penalties in the middle of it, but that gave him the Golden Ball as the best player of the tournament. This World Cup Best Player award started being given in 1978, and no player had won it twice, not even Maradona. But Messi had also been named the best player of the tournament in 2014. So in 2022, he became the player with the most Golden Balls ever. Then at 36 years old, Already as a World Cup champion, he went on to play yet another Copa America with Argentina. But the craziest part is that he had already played in the tournament 6 times. So when he entered the pitch against Canada, he reached 35 Copa America appearances, surpassing an old Chilean guy to become the player with the most Copa America matches ever. This is massive, considering Copa America is the oldest national team tournament in the world. Then midway through the tournament, on June 24th, he turned 37, and once again he carried Argentina, beating Ecuador in the quarterfinals, Canada in the semifinals, and Colombia in the final. With that, he broke Dani Alves' record of 41 titles to become the most decorated player in history. He won 35 titles with Barcelona, 3 with PSG, and now his 4th with Argentina, including an Olympic gold medal, making it a total of 42 trophies. Then after moving to Inter Miami, he won even more titles. And with Inter Miami, he kept having many goals and assists. But one assist in particular was special. In September 2025, at 38 years old in a match against Nashville, he played a through ball for Alenzi to score. It looked like just another goal contribution. But with that pass, Messi became the first player in history to reach 400 assists. It's just insane. So if you enjoyed this video, I think you're gonna like this one too. Thanks for watching and bye.